This is Seattle's Morning News. Dave Ross with Colleen O'Brien. The tax reform bill is now going to a House Senate conference committee, but charities are already concerned because of the way this tax reform treats charitable deductions. Bob Gleason is the chief financial officer of Bloodworks Northwest. They're the ones you give the blood to. And you have some real concerns this is going to harm your operation. What's the main thing that you're worried about here, Bob?
Appreciate it, Dave. The main concern is with the increase in the standard deduction, less people will be itemizing their deductions such that they won't take advantage of a deduction for charitable contributions. It's uncertain what this will do, but it certainly raises a level of concern that the donations that nonprofit organizations and that Bloodworks counts on, and in our case to fund our lifesaving research operations, may go down. It's unclear, but it certainly has raised the level of concern, and I'm sure this concern is shared by other not-for-profits, not only in Seattle, but across the country.
Well, you can still deduct for charitable donations. What is the part that you're concerned about?
The concern is with the increase in the standard deduction going from $12,000 to $24,000. A large group of the population will no longer meet that threshold to be able to itemize a charitable deduction. I would like to think that people give to charities, for the right reason. However, with the change in this standard deduction, perhaps the donation will drop a little bit to take effect of that lost tax deduction.
Well, now, at this point, is this just a fear, or do you have large donors saying, hey, you should know that if this goes through, I can't give as much?
I would say it's a concern. I mean, somebody that's going to give us a large individual donation probably would still fit into that itemized deduction category. It's the small individual donors. I mean, we as I said, Bloodworks uses these contributions to offset the gap in funding for our research operation. In a lot of cases, we have small donations, $50, $100, $250 donations that may get affected by this.
So what are you trying to get out of this conference committee then? Is there a lobbying effort underway by charities to change this somehow?
I believe there is. I mean, I think there's, one would be a specific carve out for charitable contributions, saying that is always an itemizable deduction regardless of the standard deduction. The other idea that I've heard is an actual tax credit for charitable contributions. And no way to tell how how this reconciliation process will go and where this will end. But it's just certainly something that we're keeping an eye on, and hope that it doesn't have an impact.
A dollar for dollar tax credit for charitable contributions? Has the tax code ever had something like that?
As far as I know, no. But it's an idea that surfaced to try to again keep things reasonably simple in calculations. Whether it advances, it may not, but it's an idea that's been floated around.
So if it turns out that the charitable deduction part anyway, remains unchanged, are you concerned enough that you're coming up with a plan B, or are you just crossing your fingers that something gives here?
Well, I would say that at this point, most of it is crossing our fingers. There is lobbying efforts, I'm sure, going on by the nonprofit associations to keep this at the front of the legislator's mind. I would suggest that folks, if they're concerned about this, also contact their Washington representatives and let them know about this concern.
Bob Gleason is the Chief Financial Officer of Bloodworks Northwest. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, Dave.
Bob.